Everything I spit rare, we sound in that great area podcast. They talk about hip hop all the way in the UK, so they gon' get props. Ooh, let me catch you.
Today we are talking about Kendrick Lamar's Control verse. That's my little shitty introduction. Sean, what are you saying? Give him the real introduction. Tell him why we're here, what we're doing, and how we're gonna do it, baby.
No, don't be hard on yourself. You did well. You did fine. I think the only thing to note is we're recording this beginning of September 2023, so it's pretty much 10 years since Control dropped. So it feels like a good time to just discuss, how we think the song and Kendrick's verse has aged. The main crux of this episode is talking about the artists that Kendrick name dropped and how their careers have panned out since then, and some of the responses at the time too, because there was a lot of noise after that verse dropped. So I guess a good place to start is just to ask you all, do you remember where you were and how you felt when this song dropped? Without saying too much, because we'll wrap up the episode with our final thoughts. But yeah, just...
I roughly remember when I was listening to it. I don't know if it was for the first time or if it was just... I don't know, actually. It could have been the first time, but we were at what we called the Penthouse. No locations need to be described, but Sean remembers the Penthouse. We were at the Penthouse and we were driving back, which is obviously not a far drive. But you were like, "Oh, have you heard the new Kendrick song?" I was like, "New Kendrick song? Like, what are you talking about?" Like, no. And he's like, "Yeah, let me plug in my iPod." So he plugged in the iPod or the iPizzy, and then he pressed play. And I was like, "Oh, okay, this is sounding like Big Sean." He's like, just wait." And then, this is only like a 10-minute drive. So I'm like, well, when's Kendrick coming in? And then he comes in. I'm like, oh, okay. Do you know what I mean? Like, this is going all right. This is going all right. He's like, but wait. And it was probably, I don't know. It's probably going over my head what was going on then. But I don't remember much else past that. I remember dropping over. Oh, that was cool. But back in those days, there was a lot of time spent together and music played, so I think I kind of just glossed over it in my head. But yeah, what about you two? What about everyone else?
Well, don't all talk at once.
No.
Trust me.
I'm not.
I said you two as in the two quiet people. Kieran,
I'm trying not to interrupt anyone. To be honest, I think I was just might have been on my lunch break working at Maccadee's when I heard it, thinking, "Oh my god, what on earth is this?" Because it just come through and it was going mad. And that was when I was like active on Twitter. So Twitter was absolutely popping at that point. So I was like, "What is this?" Having to check this out, and then it was all about the name drops. But the verse as a whole, I was like, "Oh my goodness me!" It's just come for everybody. Everybody was just too bothered about the names, and then it was just after that it was just don't want to go into it too much, but it was just about the response galore. Everybody was just trying to pick quotes from the verse, and I just remember it being a mad time and a mad few months after, really. But yeah,
well, it was a busy summer for hip-hop, weren't it? We had that famous release date of Yeezus, Born Sinner, and watching movies. I think Wale came out not long after that. Jay-Z with Magna Carta, Holy Grail. Run the Jewels debuted. Who am I forgetting? I think Ferg was out, maybe. Shabba and Work were doing their thing. Earl was coming. There was a lot going on. Who, sorry?
Drake.
Well, Drake was end of September.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool.
Yeah, Drake hadn't dropped yet.
Yeah, Drake hadn't dropped yet, and he had a couple singles out, I think, from it, like started from the bottom and all that. But yeah, I think it was an exciting time. There was quite a lot of music. Like you, Theo, the very first time I heard it, I was in my little kiosk at one of the car parks I was working at back in those days when I was doing those 12-hour shifts, sitting in random car parks in London. So I was having a great old time to myself. I was getting this is like what, less than a year after Good Kid, Mad City. So Kendrick's the fucking the biggest thing in the world to me at that time. So yeah, and then I remember, because it wasn't on the album, you couldn't buy it, you couldn't download it. So I think it was, I don't know if I ripped it off SoundCloud or YouTube or something like that, put it on the iPod, and then next thing was Sam's story. But Kieran, what about you?
Yeah, it's interesting because this is reminding me now, like, I think we saw Kendrick live actually like 2 months after the Control drop. So I feel like we were a bit hyped in this moment. Definitely like still living in that Good Kid, Mad City era.
Was it after?
Yeah, we saw Kendrick 2013.
I thought that was at the
December.
beginning of the
Yeah, but
year.
it wasn't. That was January.
No.
That was beginning
Yeah, I
of the
thought
year,
it was
wasn't
Was
Jan.
it? Oh, but wasn't it 2014 then? I feel
No, I
like
thought it
we
was
saw it like
2013.
swear.
I don't
Yeah.
So
know.
we'd seen him. Okay. That's setting it right. Like I was just in this Kendrick gas at that time, and yeah, I think the only thing I remember is being shook. I can't lie. Like I was just shook up listening to it, and I feel like I can't remember something before or after hip hop, especially in like just my listening history, where like the whole hip hop community just like had to tap in and say their piece. Like it got the older heads from the 90s speaking on topics.
Yeah.
It got the modern generation speaking on topics. It was definitely impactful. Like we've had big moments where the industry responds since then, but I feel like this is like everyone's offended. Do you know what I mean?
Could you imagine nowadays? Wow.
People
I
were
think-
offended that they weren't mentioned as well.
Yeah, it's
That's something
mad.
that I remember.
Yeah.
People.
Well, that's-
like,
yeah,
obviously,
well-
I'm not going to do spoilers, but people that weren't mentioned and literally have no claim to what they were trying to get offended by were dropping songs. I'm not going to drop the names yet, but yeah, sorry, carry on
Yeah,
with your
yeah.
flow. But that was one thing that stuck out to me when Kieran said about people being offended.
No, you're all right. It was a big old moment at the time. Definitely in the moment, anyway. In those that sort of those few days, those few weeks after it as well. Should we not waste time? Because look, I'm aware other content creators and outlets have been talking about this verse because it is the sort of 10-year anniversary. But I don't know if anyone's gone as extensive as we're about to go. So let's set the bar and really dig deep into the name drops and the artists that were all mentioned in this song. And I thought it would be cool to go in order as well, because it's just easier, go in order of when they were mentioned in the song. So let's start with a grey area favourite of ours. And I would say the second biggest artist on here. I think that's kind of without question, J. Cole. Can I start this? Because I feel like I'm going to keep it respectful. And you all know that J. Cole has a very special place in my heart. And like I said, there's no doubt that he's probably the second biggest and most successful artist out of all these names. But in the last sort of 6 months to a year, when I've been going back to J. Cole's music, it's not as great as I used to think it was.
Oh, you see, you got to take that back. Because you see what I'm on, yeah? Yesterday, yeah? So we're recording on a Monday, but Sunday, I put on Can't Get Enough. And I'm telling you, that was banging. I was in the shower going, yo. You know what I'm saying? I was in. So I can't accept that. J. Cole's got bangers that are 10 years old or 10 plus years old. And even on Friday, I was talking to someone about going to that concert and how amazing I thought J. Cole was back then, and slightly how disappointed I am that he hasn't reached the heights I thought he'd reach. I thought back then, if you asked me and Kieran, we were saying he was Jay-Z's protege.
I thought he was
You know
going to
what
be
I
the greatest rapper ever. I swear
He
down.
could have been the king of New York.
No, let me look, what I mean is like, don't get me wrong, I'm with you on Can't Get Enough. And I remember at the time, I remember being in sixth form saying, why is this song not bigger? Because to me it was just a smash, but for whatever reason it didn't like go crazy in the charts and whatnot. But
And sorry, to think about this time that we're talking about when Kendrick dropped this verse, yeah, I think there's a reason why J. Cole's name came first, because he just dropped Born Sinner. And say what you like, Born Sinner had some bangers on it.
yeah,
It's got a couple duds.
Had hella bangers on it.
look.
Sorry, that had hella bangers.
throughout.
But what I mean is like, so to clarify, I think J. Cole has had and bear in mind, so just to list the main projects that have come out since Control: the 2014 Forest Hills Drive, For Your Eyes Only, KOD, and the Off Season. That's his main projects that have come out
He's
solo.
leveled up. though.
Two
Them
of
four
those
albums
are pretty decent projects, and one of them
And-
we've obviously reviewed, and you know how we feel about that one.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. And I would say the Off Season is his best project since the mixtapes, personally. And don't get me wrong, it's a good discography, but and I feel like you all agreed with me at the time when I said this a few months ago. Like, I listened back to 2014 Forest Hills Drive, which I used to think was like fantastic at the time, but it's not aged as well for me.
Not sure.
I said
It's
this.
the
I
second
feel
half
like-
of the album. It's the second half of the album that hasn't aged, because
Yeah.
I would still argue that apart from
I
Wet
don't know
Dreams,
about
don't get
that,
me
Theo.
wrong. No.
Oh, yeah.
apart
I was
from
about to say Wet Dreams.
No, because I had to call that out. Obviously, I don't
Now
want
everyone's on my way,
because
because I've been saying this from day one.
because
I remember sitting in my car, yeah. Sean doing his rubbish again, playing me music. And he's like, "You heard DJ Carver?" I was like, "There's a song called Wet Dreams. I'm not listening to that." And he's like, "No, give it a chance." And he played me like
Sean, man.
Fire Squad or something. Was it Fire Squad? Tale of Two Cities? One of them two.
Wait, hold on, because I heard someone say Sean, man. We all liked, apart from Sam, we all liked 2014 Forest Hill Drive. So don't cry. We all liked it in the moment. So don't put this one on me. Continue, Sam.
Yeah, but I'm glad you guys have come to your senses, because I was like, what are they hearing in this? Because I can't hear shit. But sorry, dear, you can carry on with your point. But I just wanted to clarify that I never fucked with that album at all.
It's the first half, because I'm January 28th, 03 Adolescence, and A Tale of Two Cities. Though that for me is still age well. Wet Dreams, no, that can go in the bin. And Fire Squad hasn't aged well. I tell you what was one of my real favourites that I loved and was banging out all the time that hasn't aged well is No Role Models. That just sounds corny now.
Yeah, this is what I mean. I was in a cafe the other day.
The beat is iconic, though.
I wasn't enjoying it.
It is.
The beat is iconic.
Like Kieran says, I don't enjoy that song anymore. I used to like play that song all the time, but it hasn't aged well at all.
So you understand what I'm saying? Then is like what I mean is at the time, I felt like even if we did this, say like say we did it 5 years ago, I'd have said, J. Cole has had he's got a great discography. I'm talking about the quality of the music. It's gone down from a great to a good to me. I think that there's greatness sprinkled throughout, and certain projects, like for instance, an Off Season is the standout. But and we can't forget the feature run. And there's other things that he's done that is incredible. Like we've got to talk about the sort of the progression of the label and the Dreamville compilation projects and the feature run especially has been fantastic. But I just think that I would say that he's had a good career in terms of the quality of the music, but not as great as I used to think it was. I'm a big Cole fan.
No, because I feel like we're all heavily biased about Cole, so we would overrate even like his more average stuff. But like, if you really look in hindsight with a clear mind, there's a lot of haters for a reason. Do you know what I mean?
But you forget as well, the hype around J. Cole at that time was crazy, right? As in, he's signed to Jay-Z, he's doing this, he's doing that. You know what I mean? He's got I don't know if it was like a top 10 album, whatever, but the albums are doing good. You know, he's in a great place. So, I don't know. I think, obviously, him being named first in Kendrick's eyes, he was his biggest competition, and that's all that was going on there. I don't know how you lot feel about that statement.
I hear that. Definitely. It's his biggest friend as well out of all of them. He named.
Well, they've got collab tracks together, haven't they? Or they had a collab album they were working on or something. There's that video of them on tour together
on a collab album, and the thing is, Kendrick was on what is it, Forbidden Fruits earlier on, Born Sinner. So they've always collabed together.
Yeah, and then they did the Black Friday thing after this, didn't they? Like a year or two later or something like that.
But that's what I'm saying. I think Kendrick views Cole at that time as his equal, as in like we're rapping in the same style. We're not always talking about, guns, drugs, and women. Like we're like a little bit conscious, but we've got this thing going on. I think the thing that at this point J. Cole had over Kendrick was the production stuff, but Kendrick kind of showed his hand in the production realm with his next release after this song came out.
Mm-hmm. But Kendrick also had Good Kid at this point, which I feel like he felt like he was topping Cole. That's why he wanted to call him out.
Well, yeah, Good Kid is something that I'll tell anybody to listen to. I would not know what J. Cole album to suggest for someone to listen to.
That's actually true.
That's a very good point, though.
I think Off Season is a good one, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
But to anyone though, that's the point. That's when he said anyone. I know what you mean about off season.
Anyone. That's actually
like, this is hip hop. You listen to this. Yeah. You listen to this. You listen to Good Kid, Mad City. This is hip hop. It's got every part that you need. Great raps, great beats, skits that are actually like, funny, memorable, but also storytelling. It's got everything. It's a modern classic, and I didn't say that at the time. If you ask Sean at the time, he's like, this is perfect. This is the best thing ever. But we won't speak about what else Sean was listening to back in them days because his ears were not tuned. You too, Kieran. Death Grips, anybody?
Stop it.
Wow.
Oh. Okay. Well, look, we're talking about Kendrick seeing Cole as his biggest competition at that point. The next name that was listed back in the early part of the decade, these three names were kind of put in the same conversation all the time. And I'm talking about Big Crit. Big Crit is another one where there's at least well, two or three of us in this group that have, again, like Cole, we've kind of grown with the music and we're very much big fans. It's, do you know what? I would say, personally, I know that it's maybe not as consistent as Cole's, but I actually think Crit's got a slightly better discography, personally, since Control. You think about,
Have you heard the last album?
this is what I mean about consistency. I think that if you look at Cadillactica and Forever Is a Mighty Long Time, I don't think Cole's ever reached those heights in a project, especially Forever Is a Mighty Long Time. I mean, that's a criminally underrated album.
That was amazing.
But then obviously since then, the next two major projects he's chosen different directions, and that's where it's a little bit lopsided. But yeah, Crit's an interesting one, man. Obviously, first of all, we've got to plug the episode. Last year, we did a review of Crit's album, Digital Roses Don't Die. So if you want to hear more in-depth information about Big Crit and what we think about him, listen to that one. But I think in a nutshell, like Crit's I said, what?
What's that song that Addison Pat's got?
I don't know what I was listening to before this. Anyway, yeah, in a nutshell, Crit was clearly stifled by his label situation that was going on at this time too. And it's maybe hindered his career in some ways, especially compared to the likes of Cole and Kendrick. But I would say overall, Crit the music that came out after Control it's a good discography. It's just inconsistent.
My thing with Crit is, I remember once I was chilling at yours, and then Theo came home from wherever the hell he was, being a hench as hell, and how he was back then, just a big beefcake. And I don't remember what we were playing. I think we were just playing some music, and then you were like, Theo comes was like, oh, I put some Big Crit on, and I was like, what's Big Crit? And he started playing. I was like, this is all right. And then my reaction to that made Sean for the next month just be like, oh, come on, man, you got to listen to this. And whenever he was in charge of the music, he'd be like, this is Big Crit, I'm like, I'm not caring. Do you know what I mean? But
this was probably debut album times.
Yeah, Theo and Sean, you two are Big Crit stans. You've been supporting this man for well over a decade. Well, I don't know if you're just supporting him now, but it's well over a decade you were in Big Crit's corner. So like, I'm surprised Theo's so quiet on this. How did you feel when you heard this verse and you heard J. Cole, you're like, ooh, and then you heard Big Crit and you're like, what are you like?
Oh no, because I had Big Crit. I had him at the same level as those three. For me, it was always Kendrick, Cole, and Crit. Crit was in that same bracket. I always had Crit up that high, especially with like what Sean said when Cadillactica came out. And that response, which isn't really a response, and I just thought he held his own. And then when he drops Forever Is a Mighty Long Time, I'm like, look, Crit is here, man. He's showing why he's up there. That what happens afterwards is what's tailed off. And I've tried to stick to his music, but I don't know. The last few albums are just...
I'm not enjoying any of these new tracks. Like, momentary things, but it's like, it's not the same excellence.
He's fallen off, but the heights were 2017, Forever Is a Mighty Long Time. That was like when I was like, this is amazing. And to your point, Sean, that's a fair point when you actually look at his discography. When you actually look at J. Cole's, I don't know if he actually has reached the heights of Forever Is a Mighty Long Time, because that is criminally underrated, because that album is just amazing. It's so well done. And it's a shame that Crit is not at that level, but I had him at that level. And he deserved to be the second name on that list, to be honest. And Kendrick rated him highly anyway. So I was happy when I heard that.
How do you guys know that he rated him highly, though? How do you know Kendrick rated Big Crit highly?
Because he was on collab tracks as well. There was the Khaled tracks. Yeah, he was on the Khaled tracks where there was all three of them. They used to collab.
One Train.
One Train as well. One Train.
They were all in and around the same tracks.
You got to remember too. All the time. Like 2010 to 2012, Crit was here. The Return of Forever and was it Forever in a Day? I mean, in terms of a mixtape run, those three are albums, like album quality projects. And that's why we were so hyped leading into the debut album. And that's probably the music that you were hearing, that me and Theo listened to, Sam, was that debut album, which in all honesty, it didn't live up to the hype. It didn't live up to the quality level of those three mixtapes. And again, I think it was we talk about it more in the review, but the situation with the label and Def Jam, and it's one of those what ifs for me with Big Crit. Like, what could have been if his career was handled better? Or again, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but Yeah, and then it's just a bit of a shame that clearly he's trying different things, he's having fun with his music, but yeah, the last two projects haven't really been it, have they? They've not been on the level what we
Even the new
associate with
singles aren't great.
You sent one in today, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" I'm like, I don't want to hear this. I don't want to hear Big
No, that
Crit.
was
Never
Mount
have,
Olympus.
never will.
That was Mount Olympus.
No,
That was
Mount
Sam, that's
Fuck, that
actually
was
rude, you know.
yeah. Mount Olympus that was again like obviously not on the level of Control, but when that dropped, that was a moment. At least for Big Crit fans, because I agree with Theo. I think we'll get onto other responses later on, but I would say that Crit probably dropped the best quote unquote
100%.
response to Kendrick.
100%.
Yeah, I mean it's a phenomenal bar fest, that one. But what about you, Kieran? Big Crit since Control.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we've summarized it quite well. He's actually fallen off, and it's like, it's not one of them ones where I feel like he'll come back. I feel like he's plummeted like heavy. he needs like a recuperation break or something, because the music's just not been it. I feel like there was certain tracks on Digital Roses that were reminding me of old Crit, but they just weren't. It wasn't like good like song crafting, in the sense that they were like fleshed out tracks. I'm not trying to be too harsh because I know it was kind of personal to him, but yeah, it felt like he's just serving as like dad music, just like to cash a check. I don't know.
Dad music.
That's the
wow.
feelings I'm getting.
We might-
But
No, I know what you
and that's
mean.
the thing. I feel like Cole hasn't checked out in that kind of way.
Yeah.
So I'd still rate Cole higher.
Yeah, I think, and like back to Cole quickly, and we briefly sort of touched on it. I think a big part of that is the feature run and topping on all these different artist tracks and staying tapped into what's relevant, what's new, has kept Cole relevant and fresh.
Cole's evolved though. He sounds so different on
Yeah.
off season to his old music, whereas Crit hasn't evolved. I don't think there's no
I think
new
Cole
style.
is
with him.
technically a better rapper now. Like technically, he's gotten better, and I think it's just from the constant. He's like constantly sharpening the sword. He's always hopping on different tracks, testing.
Crit's the
himself.
worst rapper though, for sure. Like he's not barring the way he used to at all.
I feel like he's trying different things. He's not. I feel like it's still there. I feel like because you listen to his voice and the odd track here and there, he can still do it. It's just I think where he's trying different things, he's not showing that. And then
Can you define what the it is, please? Because I don't think he's ever done the it I'm thinking of.
for Big Crit? There's some. I feel like I'm talking a lot. I can say, but I feel like I'm talking a lot. So someone
You're
would
the
say,
only
well,
person
like
that said
Pimp C
he's done
mixed with
it
Big
before.
Boy.
Huh?
He's got like a Pimp C mixed with Big Boy vibe.
Oh,
If
okay.
that makes any sense.
Fair enough.
I
Fair
think,
enough.
Theo, did you want to say anything like why
Well,
Big
no,
Crit
just-
is so special? Or like,
Oh, he's special because of his voice, his delivery, the way he ties everything in, the way he his lyricism is good as well. I just say listen to Forever Is a Mighty Long Time. That's Crit at his best for me. That's and the mixtapes. The mixtapes are high, but I thought Forever Is a Mighty Long Time. He was finally able to put all of his tools and his skills and his prime all into one album, which is a double album, and just the way he was able to display all his skills. So he wasn't just rhyming or riding on the wave of beats. He was also storytelling as well. He was dropping knowledge as well. Like I can't think of the song track. It's one of the ones at the end. But he was actually able to give you like strong messages out of songs where you could actually feel it. And one thing as well is the motion that you feel from his voice as well, and that southern accent, and being able to just really use it well on a track. He was always great at that, but now he's not really doing that. Now I agree with Kieran with the Digital Roses Don't Die. So some of the tracks on there, I don't know, they lack substance for me. Like before, he used to have like strong substance on the tracks where you can actually feel it and vibe to it, and you're thinking, yeah, he's really talking. Now it's just I don't know. He just hears a beat, just rides over it, and that's it. And there's nothing more. And some of the new stuff that I've heard that he's been on features for, and he dropped a single as well. It's just not there anymore. I hope he can come back, but I don't have high hopes.
yeah, me too. I think the only thing I'd add to what you two have said, and I guess to summarize it, is the difference between Crit and Kendrick and Cole up until Forever Is a Mighty Long Time for me was resources and cosigns. I think that he had the sort of lyricism and the, like what Theo says, the kind of the emotion and the passion that Kendrick had, and he also had the ability to make beats like Cole, and he sort of had all the characteristics that they like from the pair of them that they had, but he didn't have a Dre backing him. He didn't have a Jay-Z, and he clearly didn't have the full backing of the label as well. So that's why I think he didn't quite take off like the other two, because he's definitely was on par in terms of skill level and other attributes, in my opinion. And the accent's a big thing as well. Like to have that thick of an accent, but still have such a like that the level of clarity and it wasn't jarring at all either. I think is another thing that was a strength of his. But I hope that.
Do you think that this struggle though, that like the struggle you're saying, is the reason why the music's gone more downhill, as it seems like he's getting more creative freedom?
But it's weird, isn't it, though? Because you say, when you put it like that, it's like you'd think that with the creative freedom, it would get better because there's not the restrictions.
He's just been like drained, hasn't he, by this label and everything.
Or what if what you expected from him is not what he ever wanted to make? You see what I'm trying to say?
What, he always wanted Digital Roses or something like that?
Not today.
He sounds proud of it, honestly. I was watching it.
He does.
He was happy with it.
Yeah. That video of like him reacting to the album, he seems like hella proud of.
He's so
that
proud,
album.
man.
Yeah, so proud.
You know
of it.
what?
So I was like,
that's all that matters, really, isn't it? If he's happy, and and he's making money,
we've got an episode on this as well about do artists owe fans anything. I was like, realistically, I don't think Big Crit owes anyone anything, but at the same time, we don't owe him anything either because he hasn't got anything near what J. Cole has got impact wise on the game. Like, you could ask someone who claims to be a rap fan, have you listened to a Big Crit song? They're most likely gonna say no.
No, I know what you mean. What you mean. Yeah, in terms of cultural impact and whatnot, J. Cole's certainly in a different realm. But something I've been thinking about, and we will move on because I know we've been speaking about Crit for quite a while. But what I'll say is I'm trying to look at it more like what he has given us rather than like the more recent stuff and how the career's panned out. Like, he's given at least his fans or people that are tapped into that area of hip hop some real
for sure. I think he's like
moments in art. Yeah,
he might be one of the best Southern artists, or even the best Southern artist of the 2010s. Actually,
yeah. I mean, could you imagine Sorry, I was just gonna say, could you imagine, even regardless of whether he was on Def Jam or not, someone like Andre 3000 was really sort of shouting his name like a Dre was, or a Jay-Z was talking about
exactly.
Like and that's
what I was going to touch on. Yeah, see, you had the same point. That's what I was going to touch on. It's a shame he didn't have the same cosigns. Why didn't he get the cosigns from the South that, like, obviously Kendrick got from the West and J. Cole got from the East? J. Cole had the Jay-Z, Kendrick, the Dre. Why didn't from the South? Why didn't you get the cosigns from Andre 3000? Obviously, Big Boy and Pimp C were there. They obviously shouted him out, UGK, but you needed more big names from the South. And it's a shame that he didn't get that cosign to really level him up, because he's one of the best from the South
as well. Yeah, for sure. I guess like the Atlanta scene was moving differently as well.
Yeah, it's true.
It was taking
very
over
different.
what the Southern sound was, and it contrasts so heavy with what Crit makes.
I was literally just thinking that, Kieran. I was trying to put myself from the perspective of the label. They're seeing the likes of Future on the come up, Young Thug, Migos, Travis, and they're like, this is how the South's supposed to sound. Make a trap song, and he's like, no. I make this kind of music. So there's so many factors, but yeah, I think like if you're listening, check out our Big Crit review. You'll hear a bit more about how we feel about Crit. But fingers crossed that whatever he's got planned next is going to be a progression of what we've had on the last couple of projects. Anyway, moving on to another artist whose career hasn't quite panned out the way maybe we expected this time, sort of 12, 13 years ago, and someone else we've spoken about in length as well, Wale. Again, go back and listen to our What Happened to Wale episode. We talk a lot about his discography and how we feel his career's panned out. But yeah, Wale since Control, I mean, I want to try and keep this as respectful as possible. Out of all these names, I would probably say this is the weakest discography.
No, that's actually a par, because there's a worse name on this list.
We'll get there later. What I want to say is,
I want to say Wale
at this moment in time, when
actually deep, fam.
When this drops, on this list, Wale is a bigger artist than Drake.
Wale has that good feature on
the. You don't remember because you don't know. But I'm telling you, Wale had Lotus Flower Bomb. That album was popping off. He was bigger than Drake.
No, he wasn't,
bigger
man.
than Drake, though.
Yes.
He wasn't bigger than Drake though.
He
That's
wasn't
like,
bigger than Drake.
that's too much.
Rick
That's
Ross and
mad.
that whole fucking group he had, Maybach Music, they were running the game at this point.
No, they weren't, man.
man.
Young Money.
Yes, they were. No, it wasn't Young Money season
Sam,
yet.
We will have
No,
this
but Take
convo
Care
another
already
day.
dropped, man. Everybody was
Drake
all
had
over
Take Care
Drake.
out.
You can say what
Everybody was
you
all
want.
over
The
Drake.
streets,
Man,
the
hip-hop
streets
fans
were
weren't
listening
even-
to
It wasn't even just
Rick
hip hop
Ross.
fans, though. It wasn't even just hip hop fans. Everybody was running
Kieran
with Drake.
Dunn.
Take Care. Everybody was running. I had people. I remember being in uni. People who don't even listen to hip hop. Oh, you listen to Take Care? I'm like, who are you, man? Like, and they're like, oh, it's amazing, isn't it? Honestly.
Say what you like. In my view, like I said, at this time in 2013, Wale was a bigger pop act, and he arguably had already had a timeless song. Nothing on Take Care is timeless that you could play now out, and people are going to go crazy.
I don't know about that, man. I think that
I do.
No, I still hear every now and then on certain. If there's a certain radio station that's been left on in the car, there's songs from Take Care that still play today, and in the clubs.
me
It's
them.
like, I mean, I don't really go clubs anymore, but like certain songs from that album. But listen,
Name them.
I
I'm waiting for the
respectfully,
names.
I
I actually
respectfully
hear what
disagree
way-
with your opinion.
Man,
Drake
skip it
doesn't
over
make
like
The
you
motto
don't
still
hear
music
bangs, man.
like
from
that.
Take Care. If you want songs, the motto still bangs.
It does, but they're more.
That song
They're
sounds
momentary
dated.
things. You wouldn't sit in your room and listen to the motto
no,
unless you're like
I'm
trying to
not.
have a little
I'm
shake. Like
I tell you right
Like,
now,
listen-
I'm not doing that.
But you could play Lotus Right. Okay, so
what are you
let's
implying?
take this into now, into today's days. You could play Lotus Flower Bomb now and enjoy it. You can't play the motto now and say you're enjoying that. You have nostalgia for it.
unless you're trying to turn up
Yeah, I've
to
got,
it.
but
I've
let's
got,
just
no, I've got
wait.
nostalgia for it. I ain't playing that now. I'll tell you that right now. I'm just saying
But I
it still
feel-
bangs for other people.
But I feel like we're debating something that's just like so clear. There's like, sorry, Sam. There's no way Wale at this point was bigger than Drake. There's like in no.
No, but
No
Sam's trying to say
way.
he was
I'm
a more
saying-
respectable artist. At
Yeah,
this point.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
saying
look, yeah,
this list is in an order, and this order is chosen for a reason. That's why J. Cole's
that.
named that
because he's
way.
rhyming. He's rhyming. That's
Barely
right.
rhyming.
No. There's an order. There's an
It's barely
order.
rhyming.
All right, okay. This is interesting. Right, when we get to
Tell
the
me
end of
what
it,
name
tell me the
rhymes with
theory.
what name, and we'll see how this rhyme scheme works.
No, it does. Trust me.
What rhymes with Drake?
Wale, apparently.
We'd have to listen to it back. But anyway, back to Wale's career post Control. So he just dropped The Gifted, yeah. That would drop maybe like a month or two before, which was doing okay. I know there were some big singles on there. Was it Bad was on there, and I feel like Obama picked one of the songs for his playlist.
Yeah, there was a lot of good tracks. Actually.
And you're trying to tell me Drake is bigger than? Sorry.
Can someone pull up the sales, please? Drake sold like
Sales
close to a
aren't real.
million first week on Take
Sales
Care.
aren't real, man. Play that Oh
Sorry.
No No What's My Name song. See hear how
We're
shit
spending
that
far
sounds
too
versus
long on
bad.
discussing whether Wale is
I want to
bigger
hear
than
that Obama track.
Obama. What?
Anyway, so let's move on. So Wale had the album About Nothing came out 2 years later. Then there was Shine. Then Wow, That's Crazy. And then Following 2, which in my opinion is the best project on there.
Falarin.
Falarin 2 is
Falarin,
sick.
however
You
you
two are crazy.
Falarin.
I was just going with Sean.
Yeah.
The way he got for us for Pass Salute and he's saying following, like just, you know.
Yeah, I do listen. Anyway, yeah, look, we spoke about Wale. We all respect him. He's got some timeless tunes, as Sam's alluded to, even later in his career as well. I just think as a catalogue of work, it's like I said, I think it's probably the weakest on here. And I'm interested to hear who Kieran thinks is when we get to that person. But again, Wale's another one. There's so many factors, but the career just didn't pan out. Back in 2009, 2010 times, 2011, I think we were expecting him to maybe push on to bigger and better things. And I think with each album, other than the previous Following 2, it kind
The thing is, though,
went
because
down.
of that most recent album, I would rate Wale above Big Crit at the moment.
What?
Whose album am I more excited for? I'm more excited for Wale. album.
Oh, I thought you were saying the discography. I'm like,
that makes
whoa.
sense. Yeah,
no,
that's what I was.
I wanna
thought you were
hear
talking
a new
about the
Wale
discography. I was
album.
like, what?
Because of the
Yeah,
trajectory.
that
you
makes
mean.
sense. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, yeah, because I'm with you,
Yeah,
because
I
I
agree
think
with
that I mean, you can. I can't really remember the projects completely, but it felt like it's maybe got like Shine was maybe the low point, and then Wow That's Crazy was a little bit better, and then yeah, Falarin.
Fucking hell.
Oh,
Yeah,
face that sample.
Falarin 2 was a noticeable step up, I think, on those two. And the album
Do you know
About Nothing
what
got
Wale
some
said
good
at the time? Wale said at
yeah.
the time, if he didn't hear his voice in there, he would have been offended, which kind of keeps him with why Wale fell off, because he's just too outspoken.
You think?
That's what he said. It was on TMZ.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, look, like we said, listeners, go back and check that episode out. We kind of covered Wale's career extensively. But so am I on my own then in saying that I feel like Theo agreed with me that this is
I
maybe
agreed with
the
you.
body
Yeah,
of work.
definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's still okay. It's not bad. It's just like, yeah, it's just not gone
I
away.
expected more from Wale, is what I'm saying.
yeah.
And I feel like this is the thing that I don't feel like you guys are seeing, but what I'm seeing is those first three names are the people that I think Kendrick genuinely feels direct competition from, because they're talking on similar topics and have got similar styles of delivery and all that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Now
yeah,
I'm following you.
Yeah.
I thought you
So
wanted to
I don't know.
spirit.
I don't want to linger on Wale too long, because there's some more spicy names on the list, and I feel like we need to, ramp up the pressure. Pusha T,
Yeah. Pusha T.
a man who can rap about the cocaine brick in 9 different ways, and it still sounds fresh.
Trust me. And I would say, out of all these names, is top 2. I think this is a great discography. I think his career is, I mean, up until Daytona, each project got better for me.
How is Pusha T considered a new school rapper in this debate, though?
Yeah, it's mad.
Yeah, well, he kind of...
He reinvented himself.
Yeah, he did.
It's
Yeah,
amazing.
Yeah, like the final Clips album was what, 2009, and then as soon as the new decade came around, like Kieran said, Pusha T kind of reinvented himself.
But I'd say everyone on this list had listened to a Pusha T song before they even started rapping. You see what I'm trying to say? That's how in the game Pusha T has been.
Yeah. Didn't Drake have a signed mic or something like that?
Oh dear, I don't know what Drake's got going on.
No.
Yeah. Anyway, I like I said, I think this is one of arguably the best discography on here.
And I would say that Pusha T's
the best.
moment,
It's probably the best. When you actually think of it.
the diss track he did for Drake, is probably the only moment that's actually bigger than Kendrick's Control verse. Really. and
Oh
truly.
yeah.
That's
I
great.
just I
100%,
remembered now
100%.
how like much gravitas that beef had. Like it was.
You are hiding a child. Let that boy come home. It's absolutely wild.
But I think it's one of the best diss tracks ever.
It had everything you needed it to be.
beats anything in my head right now.
The exposure of the picture.
Oh God! But it was the build up.
It's the whole marketing in it.
But it's the whole build up when he dropped the subtle digs on infrared, and then Drake comes back feeling happy with Duppy, and everyone's like, "Oh, Drake!" And then Pusha
Duppy's
T
hard as well.
Bomb. Duppy is hard, but when
Duppy was more about Kanye. So.
Yeah, but honestly, when Pusha T comes with the story of Adidon or Adonis, however you want to say it, but there was the picture for me. The picture was just
wild.
You know, like when you think it's Photoshop, but then you realize this is not. You go, wow, crazy.
It's like how he found that.
He's had it. You know, he's had it for a time though.
I was gonna say, some people just have stuff on deck for no reason.
Pusha T's a little villain, I swear. He's like he'd been jabbing at Drake for years as well. They've been back and forth for years, like subliminally. So I think he was just waiting for Drake to bite, just waiting for that moment, and bang.
But I think Pusha T is the only person in this list so far who's actually had a sustained career and arguably has ticked up in, popularity, skill level, and all that kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So far,
Definitely.
those other 3 artists we've named, nowhere near what Pusha T's been up to.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, look at the catalogue of the main projects. My Name Is My Name, King Push, the Darkest Before Dawn album. And then there's Daytona, which is, in my opinion, still the highlight. And then It's Almost Dry, which dropped last year, I think.
What happened to Nostalgia?
Sorry?
Yeah, Nostalgia needs to be
That's
there.
on
You didn't mention
My
Nostalgia.
Name Is My Name. That's not an album
Nostalgia's
title,
that's
is
the
it?
single with Kendrick on My Name Is My Name.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to say, like, as in, how do you feel they went back to back on that? Because we're talking about progression. This is the first time where somebody's had a track with Kendrick.
That's a good question.
I would assume they recorded it pre-Control, though, wouldn't you? I would assume that. just because of
I don't know.
But Kendrick's verse on Nostalgia is disgusting. Have you ever seen the breakdown for that?
But so is
It is the
Pusha
most
T's, though.
disgusting
Pusha
verse
T's is
ever.
incredible
Oh,
as well.
God. Yeah, Pusha T's is, but
I think that's one of
Jesus.
Pusha's best verses, no
Yeah.
doubt.
beat as well. The beat.
The beat is,
Yeah.
Is it not?
yeah.
Who produced that? Was it Knots? I need to look that up.
It was Kanye and Knots,
Yeah,
yeah.
Kanye had some role.
But I think it's because Kanye touches everything that Pusha T's ever released in the
That's why
in the
Pusha's had
past.
such a good career, though. I think
Yeah,
we haven't
it's true.
mentioned that Pusha's been with Kanye throughout that whole decade, and he's had that push, like we were saying, that Crit needed, that Cole kind of had, but not really, and like Kendrick kind of has, but not really. Pusha actually has that. He had Kanye back in it the whole time.
But I'm wondering, Sean, what makes you say that Nostalgia was recorded before Control and not after Control?
It's more just a timing thing because I think My Name Is My Name came out maybe
October.
between a month and 2 months after Control. Was it October?
October, yeah.
Yeah. And in my opinion, just thinking about the way the industry was back then, especially, I would assume that an album's turned in like at least a month or two before its release date back then, maybe even longer, because you got to think they were doing proper singles back then. This is pre-Beyonce's album, like self-titled album. You didn't really get the quick releases or the surprise drops. So I'm just guessing. Like I'm thinking maybe this was
reasonably,
2012,
that's
early
probably what's
2013.
going on.
Yeah. But nonetheless, I mean, it's hard. In fact, I think I prefer Kendrick's verse on that than Control. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, me too.
Honestly, his verse.
I want to say this now.
disgusting.
I don't think
It's
Kendrick's Control verse is that. Oh, am I going too far?
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Oh, I've got too
unbelievable.
far.
We'll get there
Ooh.
because I've got some stuff to say on that as well.
We'll get there.
I'm trying to end the episode early. Listen, forget the rest of the names. Hear what I say.
Just to kind of cap that off, I think, with out of the names mentioned so far, this is the highlight career. And if we're talking about the quality of the music, as well as moments like Kira mentioned with the whole Drake stuff, but and it's still like if you get any sort of murmurs of a Pusha T project coming, I'm always like trying to, I'm checking.
He's in the upper echelon now.
Yes,
100%.
yeah, I agree. And and some of his features as well, like on was it on Freddie Gibbs and Madlib's album? Like, oh god, yeah, classics. Meek Mill.
This is the artist I was saying has a worse career than Wale. I think it's true. I really think so.
Meek Mill fell off in a weird way, though.
Meek
And
Mill
I
doesn't
don't want to
have good
say
tracks.
it was
He
a
doesn't have
Drake
good
murder,
albums.
but it's just
No,
Meek
but
Mill's had some
he had a
bangers.
lot of hype. He had a lot of hype behind him, though. But with Rick Ross, I know I hear what you're saying, but I don't know. I still
Wale's
think
actually
Wale's
got good
worse.
songs, man.
Yeah.
Like Wale actually has good songs.
You know what? You don't want to
Name
talk
me
about
one
Big
good
Crit's
Meek Mill
voice.
track.
I
Come
think
on.
it's Meek Mill's rap style of shouting at the mic from across the room is what made his career fall off. People are like, why?
Kieran, I agree with you in that. Like, I personally would rather listen to Wale's music. I think Wale is a more skilled rapper as well. But if we're like taking everything into consideration, I would say not like leaps and bounds. I think Meek Mill's had a better career
What
post
are you
Control.
considering though?
I'm
from Meek
thinking
Mill?
about like
really
for
and
instance,
truly.
before the Drake beef really kicked off. Dreams worth what was it called? Dreams worth
and
more than
Nightmares,
money.
I think. Oh, yeah.
That was a good project. I mean, it wasn't
Yeah,
my
that
thing.
was.
It was a good project. And at the beginning, when Meeks kind of exposed the whole ghostwriting thing, it was a big deal. It was just the way he handled the.
Fair enough.
Drake's
Meek
responses.
Mill shook up the scene, to be honest.
I can't really remember wins and losses that much, but like championships was a big deal. That was like his return from prison, and there was the Jay-Z feature on there, and I think it coincided with did Philly win the Super Bowl, Theo, around that
Philly
time?
did
You're,
win the
you're
Super Bowl.
rating
Philly
it
did
higher
win the
than it
Super
is,
Bowl.
though.
No, I don't think I am. Because I'm not. It's
No,
not. This
'cause
isn't like from a personal
Meek
place.
had
I'm just like
hype.
objectively,
Yeah.
like Meek was a big thing at that point, and
He
the
was,
music
'cause
wasn't bad at all.
Okay.
I've never been
Yeah.
a fan of Meek. Literally, I've never been a fan. I
Oh,
just
yeah, me
think
too,
the guy,
me too.
like Sam says, like this guy just shouting down the mic. He used to just piss me off. I'm not going to lie to you, but he always had hype behind him. Like there was always
Yeah.
popularity. Like everywhere you go, Meek Mill. So this is not like any bias or anything. I think he did have that. He sustained it, and now it's really dropped off. And even not even being a fan, I could go to some albums and think, yeah, you know what, this is actually decent. But the stuff recently is it's shocking.
Well, yeah,
I can't
because I
remember
didn't.
what that.
Yeah.
latest album's called, but it's terrible.
Well, Expensive
You look
Pain,
disgusted.
yeah, Theo's
It's
not happy.
terrible.
Do you know what's funny though?
Honestly, it's awful.
Expensive Pain was the most recent one, and I think
Yeah.
I've never, admittedly, I don't think I've like properly sat with it, but I do remember at the time people being like, "This isn't like on the level we've had with the previous projects." So,
But I want to say this though: out of all the people we've named so far, and arguably the rest of the people on this list, Meek Mill actually had the only reply to Control that was mature, not reactionary, and kind of realized what Kendrick Lamar was doing. He was like, "This is a sport, and realistically, you're going to say you're the best." Do you know what I mean? It's a competition. I don't know if you guys actually listened to any of the replies from the people were mentioned and not mentioned. I think Meek Mill had the best reply.
Well. Oh, okay. I remember at the time there was an interview, wasn't there? And he spoke about how like him and Kendrick saw each other, and it was all jokes and
Funny,
and, like,
yeah,
playful, and it was more of like a friendly rivalry type thing. But I mean, I think Meek's career's been okay. It's not like, it's probably, out of all these artists we've mentioned so far, personally, it's my least favorite artist on here. That the music, other than the odd song here or there, it's never really been in my rotation. But I do think that, like I said, especially with championships, I think that Meek had a real moment around that time. And
is that one with Dreams, or whatever it's called, Nightmares and Dreams?
Is that from the first album? See, this is the thing. I don't know.
That's his debut.
Yeah. Because I remember the intro on his debut is like, that was until
it's the other one. Sorry.
Until Uzi's track this year, was it? I Just Want to Rock, or whatever it's called. That was like the Philly anthem, wasn't it? That intro. In fact, I remember when I was in Vegas last year, the DJ played that intro from Meek's debut, and there was a group from Philly, and they like, all the water almost left the pool. They went fucking crazy when that song came on. It was like a huge deal for them. So like I say, Meek Mill has had moments, and there's certain tracks in his discography that I think will go down in history. But yeah, it's not my cup of tea, his music. But yeah, I personally wouldn't say it's the kind of the weakest discography on here so far. But yeah, each to their own. Should we move on to A$AP Rocky?
Do it.
Okay. How do we feel about Rocky? Probably, is this the least amount of music from anyone on here? 2 albums.
Have you seen who else is on this list?
Oh, okay. Yes, you're right.
Yeah. No, A$AP Rocky. The funny thing is about A$AP Rocky at this time, A$AP Rocky was the newest and the hottest out of all of them, because he had songs that, like Theo was saying, people that don't listen to rap music were like, "Have you heard Peso? Have you heard this? Have you heard that?" Because he was tapping into that stoner market heavy.
Yeah, part of the Cuddy lineage, I think.
Yeah. So I don't know. At this time, it felt appropriate for him to be on this list. But looking back now, it's just like what we were saying about Jay-Z that time. He's just Rihanna's husband now, or Rihanna's baby dad.
Oh my!
Nah, that's nah.
But I can't. No, I feel like A$AP Rocky did something quite impressive with this whole era.
Sam's face is like, I said what I said.
Wait. His whole org thing, the music video productions. I feel like he inspired a whole style of music videos. Do you know what I mean? I know you don't really watch music videos.
He's creative. He's a great artist, but like, if we look at what we're saying now, like, okay, yeah, they was good back then, but right now, A$AP Rocky's nobody. Like,
oh no.
If A$AP Rocky did a concert, it would sell out, and everyone would be upset that he didn't do the first album or the big songs, or that Skepta doesn't come out.
True, you know. Like,
no one's trying to hear new A$AP Rocky.
We might get a new album very soon, you know.
That new single's nice though.
That new single is good.
I feel like I'm doing one of those things where I'm speaking into the future, but realistically, on this list so far, A$AP Rocky, it deserves to be here, yes, but career-wise, he's just like a couple bumps up from being at the bottom of the list right now in my eyes.
He got to remember as well, like, was it after testing he was in jail in like Sweden for ages as well, isn't it? Slipping on
semen.
There's been, oh geez. He did say that, right? He did say that. I think that in terms of, again, like just talking about the music, and you all know how I feel about A$AP Rocky. I feel like he doesn't really get the credit he deserves for being as experimental and as alternative in a mainstream space that he does.
He was the first fashion guy, like after Kanye, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah,
the first
yeah,
guy
yeah.
to do the weird stuff, and people be like, "Oh no, like what are you doing?" But he showed the way for people like Young Thug, even Uzi. Like ASAP was a groundbreaking artist, but currently, you know, we're talking about the verse 10 years later. Let's talk about ASAP 10 years later. He's not. Do you know what I mean?
He's borderline irrelevant. I'm not gonna lie.
Thank you. I wanted someone to say it.
That is actually the truth.
But that don't matter though. That don't.
It doesn't matter. That's true.
Yeah,
It doesn't matter as long as he's making good music. It's cool.
But I remember. So how do we feel about these projects? So like, I remember 2015 at long last.
Well,
A$AP
hang on.
really
Sorry, I
liking
said that.
album.
Yeah, that year he released One Train, which was banging.
Well, the
not
debut
because of
album
him,
came out
though.
that year. His debut album came out in
That's
January.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So One Train was out, and it's like, oh, I think A$AP Rocky's banging, but like, do you know what I mean? Are we being nice here, or are we being honest? A$AP Rocky's nobody now.
No, that's harsh, man. We can't forget, like, at long last, A$AP. I mean, Am I on My Own? That's a good album, right?
That's a good album.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a great album.
And Testing. I mean, it says it in the title. He was going for some other.
It's good in places for sure.
Phil, what you can say?
No, I said Testing was decent. I didn't think it was about. Obviously, it wasn't
respected
as good as. Yeah, it was decent.
And the marketing was sick with the thingy, like the Breaking Bad-esque like jumpsuit, like the overalls, and the whole aesthetic of it was interesting. But and also on that album was the song with Skepta, right?
Yeah, but that's the only song that actually got heard by anybody. Like,
well, that popped off big time, yeah. But I think this is one of the more interesting discographies. Like the music to me, I'm always like, if I hear anything again, a bit like Pusha T, if I hear A$AP Rocky's got music coming, I'm on it. I want to check it out because I think the music is more interesting than most people want here.
do you know what?
I agree.
I'll be honest. So far, he's the most experimental where it's paid off. Like, as in, he's got dubstep songs, he's got rap songs, he's got singy LSD type
Indie
songs.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, he's the one where so far it's paid off, and also I think arguably up until this point he's one of the most interesting rappers apart from Pusha T. He's one of the most interesting rappers. He's got his own flow, his own style, his own.
I agree with
ad-lib.
that as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Also,
he's more memorable than the other rappers, and it's not because of his talent. It's just the way he raps and the way he uses his voice.
And I think also, you know, as a New York rapper as well, a New York City rapper, at a time where New York kind of the relevancy dropped off, right? The South, particularly Atlanta, took over. He kind of, in my opinion, I guess there's French Montana, but that's, you know, I don't want to say too much because I don't want to be disrespectful, but I feel like A$AP Rocky kind of held a torch in that city for a while after.
You're saying he was the king of New York.
Too random.
I'm just trying. Oh well, hang on a minute. No, let me not. Hang on. Let me not be disrespectful. Nikki.
What about Joey Badass
Nikki.
or Nikki?
Nikki is the queen.
Well, at this point, Joey Badass is actually nobody as well. People are only just finding out about Joey Badass around this time.
Yeah, because Joey. I mean, the mixtape came out the year before, the summer before, didn't it? And that made rounds in the made waves in the underground. And he was on One Train, wasn't he, Joey?
Yeah.
But and he responded to this, didn't he? In Illuminati Part 2 or something like that. He had some stuff to say about Kendrick and the Control verse, but Joey wasn't quite on that level. I feel like other than Nicki, A$AP Rocky was kind of flying the flag for New York.
For sure, and he had this whole clique with him as well with the A$AP Mob.
yeah.
So it came strong with that.
Those were the days, man, when you had A$AP Mob and Odd Future and Black Hippie and Pro Era. There was so many. The whole Beast Coast thing. It was that was a good old time, man.
I don't know. A$AP Rocky, if I'm honest, he belonged on the list at this time, but if this was to happen again and you mentioned A$AP Rocky, all you're going to do is actually revive his career for him. So it's not very,
that's actually so true. Oh,
not very nice to say it, but it's the truth.
But what if this next... All right. What if the next album is like top tier? What does that do for him, Sam?
Okay, so let me say this, I'm going to say this and you're going to understand what I'm trying to say to you. A$AP Rocky's original fans aren't even A$AP Rocky fans anymore. They don't listen to A$AP Rocky anymore.
I get
the
you.
people that were oh my god, long live A$AP, whatever, A$AP Mob, they're not even listening to A$AP Rocky anymore. So who's really listening to that album? People that rate rappers.
A lot of people listening to Rocky weren't really into. Yeah, I get what you mean.
They weren't into him. They were into the lifestyle,
truths.
and those people are now 10 years older. So these people are, in their 30s or in their mid 20s now. Well, there you go.
Something like that, anyway.
Yeah, but the point I'm making is, unfortunately, I'd love to see ASAP Rocky still be relevant, but as far as this list goes so far, like I said, he's a couple bumps up from the bottom in my estimates, and there's other people on this list that definitely, if I'm saying this list is how it is in an order, ASAP Rocky could have definitely come a lot lower down in this.
Okay. Drizzy.
He's definitely had the most impactful career out of all
He's
the
the biggest
people.
artist on this list.
100% is the biggest
Let's
artist
not
on
lie.
this list. Yeah.
He
He's
sold
bigger than the
more.
artist that was rapping.
He sold more like singles or albums than all the people before him combined.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Facts.
Except for Wale. No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
What the fuck is that?
Yeah, I think that Drake's a funny one for me because I mean we don't need to talk about his the numbers and the cultural impact because everyone knows, but I actually feel like in the sort of couple years that follow Control, Drake's discography arguably got better and is one of the best on here. But then from Views and More Life onwards, that's when it takes a dive. But nothing was the same, and if you're reading It's Too Late. I feel like that's kind of peak Drake, personally.
The thing is, the trend you're describing, I think it happens with all the artists. They all had a little improvement when this Control verse dropped. I don't think anyone got worse, did they?
The correlation.
Well,
I think all
here's
of
the
them
problem
get
though.
better.
Out of everyone on this list so far, if anyone was going to drop a mad project or a fire song, I'm going to hear the Drake one. Do you know what I mean? You can't avoid the Drake one.
Yeah, you can't.
It's going to be all up in your face. If anything, at this point in time, Drake is not bigger than Kendrick. They're like, equals, competitors, on the come up. But now, Drake is way bigger than nah.
Yeah,
Drake's
I
bigger.
think Drake was
Sure.
bigger than.
It's
always
I
been
think
bigger
Drake
than
was bigger than
Kendrick.
Kendrick.
Nah.
100%. I'm telling you,
Oh,
Take Care was a madness.
There was a time. There was a time when there was three names on everyone's lips. It was Drake, J. Cole, and Kendrick, and
Yes.
I'm sticking to that.
I agree that they were
Yeah, it was, yeah.
closer because Drake, because from Views onwards, or Views was the one where Drake propelled to a different level, and that's where it became real pop, right? But I just think that I'm just thinking back, and then I think about the numbers as well. I feel like Drake was just always since he broke out with So Far Gone, he's just always been the biggest out of this generation. He's always had the pop appeal. He's always
That
done
is
the mad
different,
numbers.
though. It's different. You weren't getting Drake performing at the Grammys doing what Kendrick did with Mad City. Do you know what I mean? Like Kendrick
know
was
this is- I
definitely
know what
as
you
big
mean.
as
This is
Drake,
the
or
problem as
bigger.
well, though. Kendrick arguably is the better artist in this conversation.
Oh,
but
he is,
Drake
yeah,
just
that's
has
clear.
that
That's clear.
numbers pull. Drake couldn't pull off a conceptual album, and the proof is when he tried to do what's that thing called? The girls one with all the pregnant women on the
Yeah.
front.
Certified Lover Boy.
Certified Lover Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a concept album, and it flopped hard.
But sold crazy again.
Because it's him, though.
I know. I know.
Drake could release him farting for 3 minutes, and it would still sell more than everyone on this list. Like, it's stupid. It's not fair what he can do.
I think there's a more interesting topic here, which is that Drake is one of two artists out of all these names that seem to take offense to the Control verse. Because we can
Drake
talk
is-
about
Drake
Drake's
is
success,
petty,
everyone
though.
knows it, but
He was so sensitive,
Drake
though,
took
man,
offense
with
to this.
this.
Drake
He
sent
was
for
so
Kendrick, I think,
sensitive.
3 separate times in the following 2-3 years before he got preoccupied with the Drake, with the Meek Mill beef. Like Drake was stuck on this, trying to send shots at Kendrick, and I think the fact that he was that bothered by it just shows who Drake is as an artist or a rapper. Like he's not sure of himself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if... God, that's harsh. I viewed it as he was and is, but was back then so competitive that he couldn't see the sort of playful sparring nature in it. I feel like Drake sees the music game almost like a sport. And
I see the opposite as that. It's like when you watch some sportsmen lose and they're pissed off. It's like it's part of the game. Some people win, some people lose. Like if you're not playing your best, then that's what it is.
But I think what I mean is Whenever with this, right? Like I said, where I think he's so competitive, and I think that Drake's thing has always just been about being relevant, right? Being the biggest name out there. Kendrick was being spoken about the most at this point. Yeah, he sent shockwaves, and everyone had Kendrick on their lips, and I don't think Drake really liked that. Especially that you got to think as well. He had an album coming a month later, and people are now talking not only as Kendrick dropped Good Kid, Mad City, and he's apparently like brought back lyricism and conceptual albums, all this sort of stuff. He's now like being the most talked about person on social media and blah blah blah. Like Kieran said, Grammys, things like all these things that maybe Drake's not. Oh no, Drake won Grammy for Take Care. What were we saying? Anyway, what I'm
this is you. This is your monologue, bro.
I'm trying. Yeah, I'm
doing my monologue.
Thank you. I am waffling, but I guess what I'm trying to say is I don't think Drake liked the fact that everyone was talking about Kendrick and starting to say that Kendrick was the top guy. And you could tell that with the like you said, there were the subliminals, and they went back and forth for a few years, him and Kendrick. But it was just things like the interviews. Like, do you remember when he went on Elliot Wilson's thing, and he said something like, "Yeah, it was cool, it was a moment, but tell me what the first line was." It was very salty, and it was like,
yeah, but what does that even mean, bro? Because
everyone
everyone knows what was going on. Like, it's not tell me the first line. Like, what the hell does that even mean?
He would say things like, "Yeah, Kendrick's incredible, blah blah blah," but this and he said something like, I think he was on Angie Martinez, and he said something like, "Yeah, he made a decision," almost like Kendrick chose to piss people off, and he said something like, "But is he going to have the same energy when it's on site?" And it's like, Drake, relax. It's
on
like,
site.
Hey,
That's what made me laugh. No, but that's what made me laugh.
Scarborough ting, East Side, G.
Remember
Did he
when
say
Kendrick
something
came
as well,
back
like
with the
he
cipher,
chose to lose some friends or something? He said something like that, didn't he?
Yeah, he did say something like
Yeah.
that. But then Kendrick came back nice with the cipher though, and like touched on a sensitive rapper with pajama clothes.
Nothing
that
was the same.
Oh,
Yeah, that was
Kendrick, I
disgusting
think,
when he
actually
did that.
dropped a more explicit. Like, there were subliminals, but they were more explicit. Like, you knew he was talking about
Oh,
Drake in a lot
but
of
they
these.
were
funny
still
thing is,
playful, innit? He was laughing
Drake-
while saying that.
Yeah.
Drake is so like big, yeah, that he knows that if he actually tried to go at Kendrick, that it's like he's helping him a bit, so he doesn't actually want to directly address it.
That's
Do you
what
know
I mean.
what
The competition
Yeah.
was just like, it's so
But it's
competitive.
not a competition, though, is it? Because if we look, yeah, and like how this whole conversation is 10 years ago versus now, yeah, now the better rapper is Kendrick Lamar every time. Let's compare most recent albums for rap ability. Who's got the better raps?
Oh yeah, of course,
Kendrick.
of course. I would have said
Do you know
it
what I mean?
at that time
But
as well.
Drake is a pop mammoth now. He transcended hip hop after this.
Yeah, and I've said this before. There's probably an episode way back where I spoke about it in quite a lot of detail. But I think the biggest impacts on Drake's career, wasn't Kendrick or Good Kid or Control. It wasn't Pusha T and that whole situation. For me, it was the Meek Mill thing. I think that although I'm saying things like Drake was competitive and he wanted, and his thing was about numbers and being relevant, I still think up until the Meek Mill thing, he wanted the respect from hip hop heads and the culture. And you could hear that on albums like Nothing Was the Same and If You're Reading This, It's Too Late. And then after the Meek thing, the whole ghostwriting stuff, just look at Views and the trajectory since then. He doesn't sound as inspired. He doesn't sound like he's putting as much energy or effort into his raps. And he's just gone, and to me, it's just like internally, he's kind of thought, you know what, I'm never going to get that respect. So let me just fucking like go crazy with these numbers and sell ridiculous amounts of records. I could be wrong, but just looking at the bodies of work that have come since.
And you're saying that's a direct correlation to this?
No, I'm actually saying that I think that Kendrick, Control, whatever, Good Kid, Mad City had less of an impact than the whole Meek Mill thing. That to me is the biggest impact on Drake's music, is that situation personally.
Yeah.
Because as well, like, and we're going to talk about the influence of Kendrick's verse, so I won't say too much, but again, Drake didn't write Nothing Was the Same in response to Control. That album was probably done. It came out a month later. Do you know what I mean? So, and that's arguably his best album. There's Nothing Was the Same.
Well, this is the thing as well, right? If we want to talk about peak Drake or classic Drake, it's that album. Everybody knows a song from that album. That album had some of the best music Drake could ever try to make, yeah? And if you look at the way he was building up to that, it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, it didn't have Just Hold On, We're Going Home. That was playing everywhere.
That was such a hit. Everybody was playing that. That was such, yeah.
And you look at the Jay-Z feature, like if you look at Drake at that moment in time, yeah, like I said, you know, I was trying to say Wale was bigger, but I was just trolling. I was just trying to cause some controversy. It didn't work. Drake would arguably be the one person that's on this list and is like, why am I so far down? You see what I'm trying to say?
Maybe that's why he was so petty about it. Maybe he looked at it like that. Maybe he, like Sean says, because he is competitive. Maybe he looked at it and was like, "Why the hell am I that low down? Why am I not up with the J. Coles and Big Crits? You're gonna really put my name amongst the bottom of this list." So I'm not having that. He probably felt really like,
now.
yeah, he probably felt, no, why is it down there? I'm not having any of this, and got really petty about that. Actually, when you think of it,
You know,
like that, that's
when
probably
you
why he
first
got
hear
mad
this song.
angry. Yeah.
When he first heard the song, he's probably like, okay, J. Cole, makes sense. Big Crit, don't know about that. Wale, why am I not next? You see what I'm saying?
Precisely. It's true. No, it's true. He probably is thinking like that. He's probably thinking, why the hell am I not at the top of this list?
Like,
and then he hears this name and is like, I'm really after Meek Mill or someone like that. Like, it's just,
Yeah,
he's not happy about this because of where he is in the list. And even though you're claiming that it's done in order to rhyme, I think it's ordered in terms of threat level. Because if the further we get down this list, the less threat level there is to Kendrick's career from any of these artists.
I think it's the way he.
Sorry,
the way he says Drake on the verse, it is a bit like a punchline. Like Drake? It's like, and this clown, like it's like. There's a lot.
Yeah, no, I'm moving over to your theory. I think there's a little bit of rhyming in there, and I just can't believe that he would have rated Mac Miller at the bottom. But anyway, in summary,
Mac Miller's at the bottom because he's white.
But they loved Mac Miller. Anyway,
I'm saying what I'm saying because it makes sense, bro. Mac Miller's at the bottom because he's white. That is the least threat to Kendrick Lamar's career. That's why I'm telling you this list is in order. It's not rhyming, bro. It's
and Tyler as well. Anyway. So I would say
Tyler's basically white in his eyes at this point as well. You see what I'm trying to say?
I think
Tyler's the only artist on this thing that's from the same fucking city as him, or the same area, the West Coast.
True. So I would personally say that, of course, you all know I rate Nothing Was the Same highly. I rate If You're Reading This very highly. I would actually say this overall as a discography, if we're talking about quality of music again, is one of the weaker ones on here out of all these artists. I think it's near the bottom. I know that they're big records. I know that the cultural impact and influence is huge.
Near the bottom.
But
if you had to rank Drake's whole discography, it's not a high number because you have to take into account all the rubbish stuff.
Yeah, the
to me, it's
really bad average.
To me, we're talking like a 6, from Control.
I feel that.
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly.
I feel that.
I'm feeling you.
Because honestly, everything after Views for me is just like, nah, it's downhill. I ain't rating it higher than a 7 at all. There's not a whole Drake project since then that I've been like, oh, this can bang, this can run. It's only songs or only features. Yeah,
it's just the run of Scorpions at Dark Lane demo tapes to Certified Lover Boy. I'll give him props for Honestly Nevermind and just doing something a little different, but
I don't.
No, it's still not great. It's not good music
because it didn't even pay off the way you thought it would pay off. Like he's not in IB for doing big sellout stuff with that. True. Oh, when you're ready, like he's not there.
But what's the next album? What's it called? What's it called? For the Dogs or what? What's it called?
Yeah, it's For the Dogs. But Joe Denton makes me laugh, man, because he calls it Fat D.
What? Oh, what?
Okay,
what?
Sure.
Okay.
What are you saying, Theo? Explain to us.
Speaking of
he's just abbreviated it.
Okay.
No, he's abbreviated it as Fat D. Obviously, it's For the Dogs. That's obviously this album's drop, but yeah, the abbreviation is Fat D. So,
speaking of big things, next name is Big Sean. Anyway,
I don't know what big things he's talking about. There we go.
Didn't Drake have a song about big things or something? Anyway.
What the hell?
Oh shit. Yeah, Big Sean is the only other name on here. Actually, no, that's not true. There's one more. But Big Sean is another name on here that took offense to that verse.
Listen, yeah, I'm going to tell you why Big Sean took offense. It was Big Sean's song.
And Big Sean did such a long verse, probably thinking this is the best verse he's ever wrote.
Apparently, he rewrote it.
Well, no,
Oh,
the,
that's the
the
problem.
craziest thing, about all this, is the fact that for me, Big Sean at this time, like, you couldn't tell me nothing about Big Sean. I thought he's one of the best. And then when I heard this and I was listening to it in the car, I was like, oh, okay. And the way Sean was like to me, oh, this is the new Kendrick track. I'm like, what do you mean the Kendrick track? I'm hearing a lot of Big Sean, right? Then Kendrick came and did a whole podcast or a whole, you know what I mean, Magna Carta Holy Grail on his shit. And I was like, yeah, Big Sean, you're done. On your own song, and this has
He
come out.
washed him
This
on
is
his own
embarrassing.
song. I would take the most offense for that.
But it's mad.
And
because
look
why
how
did
low
let
down
this
he is
come
on this
out?
list.
Yeah,
on
why
his
did he
own
let this come
song.
out though? On his own song, why did he let this come out? If we listen to the feature, he's a bit dumb for letting it out.
This is
isn't it?
it's
Do you know what I
interesting
mean?
though, because this really affects his trajectory in his career, doesn't he? 'Cause
100% it does.
it probably
Big
he
Sean had a
washes
good album
himself
after
by
this.
dropping
He started
it.
going down for me. Well,
For sure.
I
But then, like, I
No,
feel
I
like
don't
he
know.
was always in resistance in terms of how he was trying to prove himself.
Wait. Because hang on, didn't Dark Sky? So hang
I
on,
was
Hall
gonna
of
say,
Fame was this album, yeah. Hall of Fame
Yeah.
was the second album
Yeah.
that came out. Well, it was around this time. But then Dark Sky Paradise didn't they have like I Don't Fuck With You and Blessings and all that? That was a big tune.
Dark Sky Paradise
big,
is
you
the
know.
last time Big Sean was relevant, and unfortunately for him, I think he was still trying to like fight his way into relevance in the mainstream, and he just never got there.
Yeah,
He
'cause
never
he's
found
just
his voice.
He
Yeah,
was just.
but that's
he was
why I like
brushed aside
Detroit
and-
too, because
yeah.
he kind of like
Detroit 2 is
drops
good.
that.
See, I
He
like
drops
that.
the pop aspects. I know that Post Malone track was big pop wise, but most of it is just him spitting. It's
Yeah,
really
Deep
fun.
Reverend was hard. Man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Deep Reverend's
Yeah, I
amazing.
think that's just. I think Detroit 2 is actually his best project, and
It's
also
arguable.
I maybe not now, but for a lot of the year, I've had him as feature of the year so far this year. I'm not going to lie. That on that Alchemist, no, not Alchemist. Is it Larry June? And
Yeah, it's Larry June.
Yeah,
and
that
Alchemist.
That verse
feature
is
is he comes with a disgusting flow.
Yeah.
This is the thing, though. If we're talking about people that are on this list that like are overhyped here, Big Sean was one of those people that was overhyped. Think about his story. He found Kanye, started rapping for him, and you know, Kanye's like, "Oh, I'll sign you." Like that's literally his story.
Yeah, he was definitely overrated at this time. Like
He was
he's now a really good rapper, but I feel like back then he hadn't actually proved himself like that.
Yeah, because Sam, you
technically-
said you really like you. So a bit like you asked us about Crit and what appealed to us. What appealed to you about Sean in the? I take it you mean before Control, like the early days.
Yeah, before Control, way before Control. So Big Sean for me was interesting because he was the first person I heard that was using ad libs like to make his song or his track better. Like he had the whole boy, little bitch. Like he had quotables before quotables were a thing, if that makes sense.
Okay.
And he'd use them constantly, and it wasn't like cheesy. I think as well, he was the first person I heard that would rap fast, but it was actually like manageable. It wasn't like Busta Rhymes rapping fast where you feel a bit sick. It was like he'd rap fast and you'd get like gassed off of it. And I'm talking about in the new school people, realistically. So for me, Big Sean was always a great rapper. He had some timeless songs, especially on Detroit. There's one song on there called Higher, which I think is the first track, but I don't know. I used to listen to it on shuffle like a weirdo. But- Yeah, Big Sean is, at this point in my mind, 2013, he's someone to like to contend with. But if I look back in hindsight and you know look at him now, I'm like, you were never really trying to do your own thing. You were just doing a thing or the thing. Do you know what I mean? You don't have a lane. What is the Big Sean sound? Like we can pick out a J. Cole beat. We could pick out a Big Crit beat. We could be like, oh, Wale would sound good on this. Pusha T, same way. Meek Mill, same way. A$AP Rocky, the same way. Drake. And I feel like now at this point in the list is where we're getting to the point where it's like, I guess I better name Big Sean because I'm on his track. You see what I'm trying to say?
You reckon? Oof, that's harsh.
I think we've crossed
Imagine.
that point now where Drake is where Drake is in the list, where Kendrick is saying, these are the people I think are my competition, and these are the people I guess I should name.
Yeah, for sure. It does feel like that.
Wow.
The last two are, I feel like there's specific reasons why he just footnotes them.
Right. Well, yeah,
yeah.
I get it with the next one. Yeah, I think with Big Sean also maybe it's like a respect thing to Kanye and good music, isn't it? Like this is your guy. You're like one
I'm
of
on
the
his
big
track.
labels. And I'm on your track, but still, it's like Sean was in that conversation of the big names at that point. I think his career has been like a bit up and down, or in this case down and up. Like I said, I think Hall of Fame was a bit underwhelming at the time, and then Dark Sky Paradise,
what?
he had a moment, and then was it I Decided again was a bit like it didn't quite make the waves that the last.
Don't
project
forget
did.
as well, he was a star rapper in that Kanye Cruel Summer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
to be fair, he was.
He
suffered
deserved
from-
some of the hype and the acclaim and that, but like I say, it was just a bit up and down. And like I said, I think Detroit 2 is actually maybe his best so far. But
I want to say this though.
I put his discography in the bottom half of these artists here.
Well,
I think
forget about discography. If we look at this list so far, yeah, he's the only person who's got a big song that is actually arguably timeless.
Which one?
Come on, think.
Yes.
Well, I don't fuck with you.
No,
I'm gonna say not these days. You get cancelled for that.
think. Mercy.
Oh, right.
Mercy.
Sorry. Yeah. Pre-control.
Mercy.
Pre-control.
Well, it's not about it being pre-control. I'm saying this at this point in time, if you look up this list, no one's got anywhere near as much clout as Big Sean does. He's got someone already on this list on the track that's timeless. You see what I'm trying to say? Pusha T is like a goated rapper at this point. Kanye's goated, and 2 Chainz is new, but 2 Chainz arguably steals that fucking that whole song. But I think, do you know what as well? Sorry, I've kind of confused myself and painted myself into a corner here. Does Big Sean just always get spun in his own tracks?
Oh no.
Oh gosh.
Wait, what other examples?
Other examples.
No, there's quite a few.
So at this time, he would have had that song, which is pronounced ass, but because I'm British, I'm going to say arse.
With Nicki. With Nicki?
Yeah. So Nicki spins him on that track. My Last, Chris Brown doesn't even really rap, but still, outperforms it. Marvin Gaye and Chardonnay.
No,
Kanye West outdoes him. Come on, I'm building up some steam here. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, it's quite obvious.
Even
to
the
me.
Post Malone one on Wolves, I was listening to it the other day. I was like, Post Malone actually kills this.
That's what I'm
compared to
saying. Does Big Sean have a habit of just getting spun in his own tracks, and that's his whole thing?
Why don't we frame it as in he lets people shine on his tracks?
Yeah.
Do you even really listen to what Big Sean's saying in Control, or do you just wait for Kendrick to come on?
No,
I
you
was
just
trying
wait
to
for
listen
Kendrick
this
to
time,
come
and
out.
I was enjoying it.
You just wait for Kendrick. You know
Oh,
that
man,
is
no.
what everyone's doing. I'm not even lying. You just wait.
ignorant.
Big Sean's going crazy though. Big Sean's saying some stuff.
No, he is.
Well, what I would
you
say
know-
is, though-
the majority is just waiting for him to bypass. People might even just skip the Big Sean verse and just
that's
go straight to
crazy.
Kendrick.
I think I had versions where it skips his verse.
Yeah, it does.
Start
They just
straight,
have a
start
Kendrick.
straight from Kendrick.
But his verse isn't that bad, though, is it?
It's not,
just
man. It's just long.
The verse
for no
ain't bad at
reason.
all.
Yeah.
The verse is fantastic.
The verse is
It's
Well, I
long
don't know
for
about
no
that.
reason, though.
no, it's good. I would say it's good. I think it's a good verse.
But listen, I would say that, I mean, who we've been through so far? I mean, I know we've like Pusha T's kind of the exception. I'll just speak to Sean individually. I think that he's, as a rapper, gotten kind of significantly better. And I'm actually, after Detroit 2 and hearing this recent feature, and I'm thinking maybe there's been 1 or 2 other things in recent years. Like, I'm going to check a Big Sean project whenever that's
No
announced.
doubt.
Like,
We checked the last one. Everyone here checked the last one. But I'm
Yeah.
thinking, out of everyone named so far, he has the biggest chance of becoming relevant again and not having to, I don't know how to put it, not having to do like some massive stunt to get there. Like, he might just earn his way back in. And people are like, yo, have you heard this Big Sean? Do you know what I mean? Big Sean's crazy.
Because Detroit even had that buzz anyway. Detroit too. So
Yeah.
But last thing I'll say is I don't know if he was offended by it at the time. I think maybe it was the responses and like what we're saying here about how people were saying he got spun. I think that kind of like ate away at him. And he said a couple things in tracks and in interviews where he clearly was. He said something similar to Drake where he was like, "Yeah, but do you remember the verse though?" or something like that, or like, I still feel like I won, like I was, I had the best verse, and then obviously it led to the whole, the Heart Part 4 and what was the big single Humble where Kendrick was
but even Element, I think Element talks about Sean as well. doesn't it?
Element, yeah. So Kendrick weren't happy, man. In fact, Kendrick was more aggressive to Sean than he ever was to Drake.
Kendrick was
That's
rude.
what I was going to say. Why is he so like, is he just bullying him because he knows he can't beat him now? Do you know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make sense why Kendrick is still onto
bullied
Big Sean.
it wasn't nice.
On the Humble. Like, Humble is so many years removed from this whole
but
thing.
if you listen to Deep Reverence, you could tell Big Sean was hurt. Like, he was hurt so bad.
I reckon Kendrick was just in a place. Look at the album cover. Like, you didn't want to like mess with Kendrick at that point when he was making Damn. But I'm glad they patched it up. Okay, next one. Jay-Z. I mean, Jay Electronica.
I see what you did there. I don't even really want to discuss this because at this point, I swear he's only got like 3 songs out.
It's what's even worth talking about.
Do you know what I mean? At this point, he's got 3 songs out, and then past that, he's not done anything that I would rate
he's
other
so
than Donda.
irrelevant.
And that's like a double cancelling. Sure, man, let's talk about Donda or Jay Electronica.
That Donda feature was incredible. The thing is with Jay Electronica, he's had moments where he's actually been incredible, like the Exhibit C and stuff like that. I can't remember if that was before or after.
But do you want to
Control.
talk about overhypedness
before.
or not? Because this is the most overhyped person in the whole
This
rap
is the
game.
thing. Like, there's always this hype when you see his name, and it's like, why are we hyping it though? He's not done anything to gas us for it.
Yeah, I'm going to try and I'm going to keep it brief because I don't want to.
There's not much to say about this one.
I
though.
think the way I describe Jay Electronica is he's clearly a wordsmith, and there is something alluring about him. I think definitely the early projects, like when he first came on the scene or made waves in like the mid sort of to late 2000s, and tracks like you mentioned, Kieran, Exhibit C, justified the hype and the potential. We then got pretty much a decade of like false promises and pushbacks and other questionable stuff. And then we got to a point where I feel like Jay-Z and the label were like, do you know what, fuck it, I'm going to just like do half this album to get this thing out. My thing on Jay Electronica is I think the guy's got a huge ego. I think that he is actually quite repetitive. And again, wordsmith, but kind of says the same things in a lot of his verses. Stuff that goes over my head even when I read it. And I'm like,
I hate the fact that I have to start Googling a lot of things every time he starts rapping because it takes me out of it. Because I'm like, but wait, what does that mean? What is this? Do you know what I mean?
And
It's like
not
a history
fun like
lesson.
how Lupe raps. I feel like Lupe will make these references, but it's just fun to hear. You don't have to Google. Jay Electronica is like, you're not going to understand or enjoy his verse.
Exactly.
You don't know what he's saying.
Yeah, it's true.
Exactly.
Lupe's there's a lot more variety. There's a lot more range. There's more substance too. I'll kind of cap it off in just saying I think that Jay Electronica is it's been a very underwhelming career based on the sort of the entry to the game and the clear talent that's there. And I think also just there's the controversies recently as well as from a written testimony. It feels like there's an agenda there, and I don't know. It doesn't sit well with me anymore, Jay Electronica. But I'll leave it there. I feel like
I think he's had the worst career out of all of them.
Yeah,
I actually do.
arguably.
Yeah,
Arguably, like
He's
at
done
this point,
the least.
yeah, at that point in time, it's interesting to mention him because there's a hype around him. But if you look now, it's like you've dropped half an album basically, and you featured in a lot of things and said the same verse, just remixed with the same bars put in different places. Like it's not.
I'm glad it's not
just
crazy
what you're doing.
Yeah, you get an abracadabra, an alakazam.
I'm saying all this to say I think Jay
Oh, you
Electronica
always
is one of the
get
most
Alakazam.
interesting
It's
rappers.
ridiculous, man.
Sorry,
He's not. Go on, sorry, Theo.
no. What did you say?
No,
Sam?
I said who are you talking to?
You said something. You said something about him being interesting or something. Yeah. Edit the fuck out of that. There we go.
I probably won't edit that, but yeah, no, I was saying he's interesting, but he's just not giving me enough. Do you see what I'm trying to say? Like, and it's not like he's like, I'm not saying he should die, but actually, that's such a wild thing to say. But, you know what I mean?
no.
He's still alive. He's still alive. He's in his he's in a good way. I don't even know.
Hey, let's keep it moving.
No,
Edit the fuck out of that.
move on from that.
The very last thing I'll say, unless Theo, you had something else to say, but this is the only other person on the list that sent shots at Kendrick, but randomly, like later down the line, I remember there was like some live stream in a back of a car, and he was like saying stuff about Kendrick and like tweeting things. And then I think Absol came out and was just like, I think Absol actually said stuff on the album at the time. Do What Thou Will or whatever it is, and just kind of like took it for Kendrick and was like, yeah, you don't need to bother with this. I'll take it for you as your TD buddy. But but JLX says some wild stuff. He said something the other day or the other month about like albinos being evil, or this is what I mean. It's like. I can't with Jay Electronica.
Sorry,
It's
I
too much.
love it because I
Insane,
find it
isn't it?
funny. I love it in shock. What the hell is that?
It's too much, man. He said like, what do you say? Dominicans own all the bank. I don't know, man. He's too much. Let's move on. Jay Electronica is too much.
He's a conspiracy theorist though. There's actually an allure to that. I can't lie.
This is what I mean. There's something intriguing about him, but now it's got to the point where it's like you clearly have an agenda, but you're also maybe not all
Crazy.
there. So
Yeah.
Anyway, Tyler.
Do you know what? I want to say something really quickly just so I can get my stuff out of the way and let you guys talk for ages. But Tyler has no business being on this list at this time, because if you look at Tyler back then, Tyler was not a serious rapper. You know what I mean? He was doing his horrorcore stuff. And if you look at what he's done now, then yes, he deserves to be on this list. But this is like, I guess, weirdly for me, this is like Kendrick foreshadowing, because when I heard Tyler's name in this, in this list, I was like, why are you looking at Tyler? You see what I'm trying to say?
You know what I realized? If you look at the names on this list, they've all made like a movement or have like a cult following. It's interesting in different kind of ways as well. They've all got their own little cult, and Tyler had his one as well. So it makes sense to mention him at this point.
He's the most unique artist on this list as well.
And
yeah, he's the alternative rapper on this list.
Yeah, I feel like Kendrick maybe just recognised that coming from his neck of the woods, that Tyler was probably the next biggest artist. Not necessarily with the record sales, but like Kieran says, having the Odd Future movement and the cult following and all that. I think it was just he just recognised that. And like you said, maybe it was a bit of foreshadowing. Maybe he saw that the talent was there. I would say, do you know what? And hear me out on this, because it's not as like blunt as I'm about to say, but take away Cherry Bomb, this is the best discography out of everyone.
Yeah, but even with Cherry Bomb's got some good songs anyway.
Cherry Bomb was a necessary bridge between Wolf to Flower Boy. But I'm just saying, like, that run of Flower Boy, Igor, Call Me If You Get Lost is just like...
Well, it's not done yet.
Well,
it's still going. Do you see what I'm trying to say?
Tyler's got a top-tier career.
Yeah.
I think arguably 3 10s in a row. Do you know what I mean?
Tyler's the most dangerous person on this list, because he's actually got the potential to not take over the game, but create his own thing that none of these lots so far in this list could even try. You see what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, he's different. He's different.
I think he's also in the best artistic place right now than any of these artists too. Like who could make the best album next?
Well, he's the only one on here who's true to himself as well. Everyone else on here has rode trends or done this and done that. Tyler's been true to himself the whole time. The whole, let's say, over a decade, he's been in the public eye. He's always been himself. And as well, he's never actually really apologized for any of the stuff that he could have been cancelled for or was even cancelled for. Do you see what I mean?
He was banned from our country. He was cancelled so hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you want to talk about gangster shit, how about a whole country cancelling you? That's real gangster.
Was that Theresa May?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah, we don't want to speak politics on here. We're already, you know what I mean? We're already in a terrible way.
We already touched on JLX. So.
Yeah, Tyler's, for me, the best artist on this list.
I would. I wouldn't disagree with that. Really, I think. The run he's on. I've said it many times. I'm repeating myself. It's like Stevie Wonder-esque, man. What he's on right now, and like you say, I don't think it's finishing. I feel like whatever's going to come next is probably going to be just as, if not more, incredible. And the artistic. The creativity goes beyond the music too, and it's just, I just think
he's inspirational as well. He's just so, like Sam said, he's so true to himself. Like he owned that queerness stuff from the get-go, and like he owned it by deconstructing it and then confusing people. It's just incredible how he's navigated the hip hop space with who he is.
I agree, and probably the greatest freestyle of all time on Funk Flex.
Oh my goodness! Oh my god! Oh. If you don't know it, check it.
Oh my god!
You've made it this far.
Freestyle's one of the best.
Please pause and watch that freestyle and come back.
This is the thing,
and there's no pause in that whole freestyle.
Funny, man.
Shit, that makes me cry.
To reference somebody who was on this earlier, A$AP Rocky, he was talking about A$AP Rocky about freeing him and. So I don't know. Times when A$AP Rocky was slipping on semen, Tyler the Creator's talking about that.
Do you know what? That's a collab. I mean, the moments may be past, but that's a collab album I wanted to hear. Do you remember when Tyler and A$AP dropped Potato Salad?
Yeah.
Their styles merge so well though, because it makes Tyler rap more hip hoppy. and it makes ASAP just have a bit more fun.
I think
Yes.
Tyler and ASAP collaborating is what made. How can I say this the right way? I think that's what made Call Me If You Get Lost into a rap album. Is all that collabing.
It led to that for sure. I agree with you.
Because Igor, he was not trying to rap at all. He was making music and rapping because it suited and he couldn't find someone for the verse. But I think Call Me If You Get Lost is like, hang on, wait, yeah, I'm a rapper. Let me rap. Like, I've been with A$AP Rocky all this time. Let me start rapping now.
Yeah. He actually credited Griselda Movement as well as his main influence.
Happy New Year, man.
The way Westside nearly passes out, man.
He says so many boo boo boos.
That's the biggest boom he ever did.
Never been the same since, man. Never been the same. Right. Edit the fuck out of that.
Loud.
Last but by no means least, the final name that was mentioned on the verse, artist that's dear to all our hearts, and someone that, again, we've spoken about in much length. So go back and listen to our bonus edition of Discog Discussion, Mac Miller. Mac Miller.
I don't even want to talk about him. It makes me really sad. Like,
Yeah,
It makes me mad sad. I can't even lie to you. It's when you put objects in the mirror, and I was just like, oh god, man, I can't even talk about that song anymore. That song's just unbelievable.
you want to talk about what we was talking about earlier about artists getting better over time. He hadn't even reached his peak. He'd only just found himself, and then he died.
But the trajectory was amazing because I feel like he didn't start from a great place. I used to hate on Mac Miller from the start.
No way! I loved Mac Miller from the mixtape.
I know.
times.
I
love
didn't
Mac
believe
Miller
in the
from the
fun he
jump.
was selling us, but now I
There
became
was
a big
times
fan in it.
me and you be on MSN. And I'd be like, "Do you like this new Mac Miller?" You'd be like, "No." Like, same like you did with Kendrick back then as well. But moving forward from that, I've always loved Mac Miller, man. I think he's always had something different about him. And again, you want to talk about people competing? Mac Miller can go toe to toe with Kendrick in some
Yeah, Mac
realms,
can
and
bar,
it shows on some of Mac Miller's projects where Kendrick and him are on the track together. Mac Miller,
But it's
outshines him.
it's like even artistically, he's matching Kendrick
Way
in a lot
better.
of ways.
100%,
He's using his
100%.
voices.
Yeah, exactly.
The way he uses his voices and sings, and just like it's kind of like trippy music as well. He does a lot of different stuff.
I would say Mac Miller gets the most improved award on here because I'm kind of with Kieran because I like you, Sam, and Theo. I was always a fan of Mac Miller, but I do recognise that the music maybe wasn't that great back then. And then you look at the direction that he went in and the experimentation. I mean, if you compare a Digital Roses Don't Die to a Divine Feminine, there's a difference there, right? Like in levels, I mean. And then, like Sam said, I feel like he found himself with Swimming and Circles, and then boom, it was over.
Sean, I do think there's a debate with that most improved because I do feel like Tyler, like we just said, definitely can be considered. But also, I feel like Pusha T as well. The way Pusha T evolved from that Clips grinding era to Daytona is crazy.
I know what you mean, but Clips also like the first two albums are like classic records.
Oh, you're
I
talking
mean,
about just the difference in where they started and where they ended.
yeah, and quality of music really. I think because even though Tyler obviously clearly he's leveled up, but that those early albums is a
good,
real.
yeah.
They have a special place in a lot of people's hearts, and it was and he had his sound like that was Tyler. He knew who he was even from a young age, I think.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. And I actually think if we're putting sort of Pusha T and Tyler in the sort of the top bracket, I think Mac Miller's right next. I think I would put in top 3 out of these, like as in terms of like the overall quality of the body of work. Yeah, it's just like Sam said. I don't really want to speak on it too much. It's sad, man, isn't it?
No, it's sad because
I've had to disassociate from this conversation because, like, if we're talking about the list and we talk about the list fairly, yeah. If Mac Miller was still alive right now, he'd be bigger than everyone on this list.
Man,
Well,
his
he's better musically.
I hear that
yeah.
because his elevation, because it's true. Because like from when he started on Blue Side Park, even though there is 1 or 2 songs I like from it, but he just elevated because when you go back to like Good A. Well, I loved Good AM when it came out, but then when he was on to Divine Feminine, he was starting to create his own genre and his own lane for himself.
Yeah.
And he was getting more creative and more artistic, and then Yeah, it just went, and that
The
that's
swimming in
always so hard
circles was
for me
like the
to.
complete.
Yeah,
That was like his
Jesus.
actual genre, the full
Yeah.
creation of it.
Yeah, rest in peace, man. And like I said, if you're still listening, go back and check our special edition of Discogs discussion about Mac Miller, because we did a long one for him because he deserves it. Okay, responses, because that was a big thing about this song when it came out. Is it kind of sent shockwaves and got people rapping, not just tweeting, not just like subliminals, like making songs in response to this. Were there any standouts around that time that we can remember, or in like just prepping for this that we went over and was like, oh shit, that was a good response?
Definitely Lupe. Those super Lupe raps. I feel like
Lupe's over on
a
the
lot of
fucking
raps-
list.
Huh?
No, the responses.
Yeah,
the responses.
This is the thing. Yeah, he wasn't on the list, and a lot of people that weren't on the list came with really bitter responses because of that. And I feel like there maybe was some element of bitter in Lupe, but I feel like his execution was actually just like brilliant exploration of his styles, and it was just fun. Like he starts rapping in German in one of them. It's funny.
Lupe is different, man.
Yeah.
It is different.
I think Meek Mill's was pretty good to me.
Oh, from the people that were on name drops.
Yeah. Sorry, like I said, I tuned out of the conversation. We started talking about Mac Miller before I got all sad. I was like, anyway, that's the pod. You know what I mean? Like, that's my own pod.
You're ready to lock up.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like some people that weren't on the list that tried to get in on the action were actually just embarrassing themselves
Big time.
Yeah.
because they weren't relevant. Like, that's the
But
truth.
I feel like, for example, I remember Nicki responding, and I feel like this is integral. Like, I feel like Kendrick definitely should have mentioned Nicki on this list, and it like maybe leads to like some sort of sexism or something, or maybe he just didn't want to pick a fight with a woman. But like that's sexist in of itself as well. I don't know why he didn't mention Nicki.
I don't know about that argument, but yeah, I agree with the fact that she should have been on this list.
She should have been.
But I also agree with the argument that Nicki is not viewed by most of us, and by us I mean like people in the rap community, as a rapper. Like, she's an amazing rapper, but she's like a pop artist. You know what I mean? Like, she's at this point she's way bigger than Kendrick, way bigger than Kendrick. She's bigger than Drake at this point as well.
Yeah, she is a pop
She's
artist.
bigger
for
than
Should
sure.
she be?
She
Should she have been included
spits.
on this list?
No.
of these names with
Nah.
yeah, no.
Nah. I don't think her and Kendrick are competing for the same spot at all, or even in the same game. Nicki, you know what I mean? Nicki's just done a song for the Barbie film.
Okay.
Which has
Kendrick
gone
is calling
down
out his
massively well.
competition.
That song,
Yeah.
that song is being sung by everyone. Oh my god!
Like, yeah, Kendrick did Black Panther, but you know,
Yeah,
sorry,
but Nicki's on a
that did not
Barbie
have the
song.
same reach.
This is a different realm. Honestly, when you
Yeah.
get like everyone singing that Barbie song, they don't even regard that, and Nicki's making it like trendy. Like, people who just will like, oh, I don't want to listen to that, but then they hear Nicki saying like, oh yeah, it's Barbie, bitch, and like that. It's just that's what Nicki's
I
doing.
said,
Though. It's
whoa.
true though. It's
Yeah, well, I mean, let's put it this way: anybody who had some kind of big song or some kind of recognition in the rap game is probably hearing this and going, "Why am I not on the list? Why am I not on the list?" Blah blah blah. But like, let's just face it: like, if you wanted to be on that list, make your own fucking list. I'm sure some people did do that in their responses, where they started naming other people and calling people out and whatever else. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah, couple things. One thing I was just going to say is talking about like soundtracks and stuff. All the Stars was a fucking monster tune, monster. Like, that was so big. Was that Kendrick and
Are we
SZA?
having that argument
Because
again?
of
Whether
SZA.
SZA's bigger than
Because
Kendrick
of
or not?
I kind of think that Nicki really could have been included on that list. But anyway, to talk about
Where does she go in the rhyme, Sean?
on your conspiracy, I don't know. I'd have to dissect that one. I'd have to do a bit of J Electronica activity, and go down those rabbit holes.
Call the Sons of
Alakazam.
Yaqub or whatever he's
yeah,
talking
yeah.
about.
Yeah, man.
I don't even know what that means. I'm sorry if that's offensive.
Listen, yeah, let's just not go there. Let's not go there. In terms of responses, I mean, look, I think there were some really good ones. The one that I can remember.
Is he all right? What's going on with this guy?
Where did that come from?
That was random.
Sorry,
That
man.
took me off guard, man. What?
Yeah, that made me jump.
That is funny.
Yeah. Joel Ortiz, I think, was like the first one to drop, and it was like a day after, and it was really it was a solid track. Do you know what? For me, more than anything, a couple of things I wanted to say was, one is I just think it was a great moment for people, regardless of whether people were butthurt or whether they were like reinvigorated or whatever, regardless of whether the tracks were good or bad. It was just a nice thing to see. It wasn't like dangerous, violent beef. It was competitive spirit and a real good moment for the culture. The only other thing I would say is the irony of it all is that, you know, we've said that there were a few artists who were named that felt some type of way about it, but Kendrick wasn't dissing those he mentioned. He wasn't dissing anyone, but if anything, he was dissing those that weren't mentioned. Does that make any sense?
Oh, 100%.
I think
100%.
Yeah. But it wasn't a diss. But what I just mean by that is if you weren't included on that list, then you would feel some type of way because most rappers are the best. But
Sam made a really good point though. Kendrick was actually mentioning his direct competition, and that doesn't mean these are the people I think are the best rappers. Even though he does that list of Jay-Z, Biggie, Nas just before.
Yeah,
well, that's stealing from Jay-Z though, isn't it?
Yeah, like it's not like the example with Nicki. It's like Nicki's in a different realm. Nicki's doing pop music at this point, so Kendrick's not trying to like fight for her spot.
Yeah, I get it.
It was misunderstood.
I heard you were conflicted.
Yeah, I get it. I don't completely agree, but I get it. Okay. What about the track itself? 10 years later, do we like it?
First of all, the beat's hard, yeah. But
the beat's hard, but
I don't know. It's just
Shout
a bit
no
much.
ID.
I feel like Big Sean's verse goes on too long, probably because he thought he had to fix it up because of Kendrick's. I feel like Kendrick's verse doesn't actually have like a through line. It is a bit more like he's like just barring like a freestyle.
Yeah.
And then he realizes,
Craziness.
let me just start sending shots.
He's just saying craziness. Even the way it ends is a bit like sickening because it's like, what are you talking about? Like,
But I don't get why he has to shout the whole thing. Like I know the start isn't, but there's parts he's shouting that I'm feeling like he could just rap, and it's giving me that like Eminem shouty type of delivery that we got a bit sick of.
and to be honest, if I look at this versus the rest of Kendrick's discography, again, this is very low down on the list of Kendrick Lamar.
Because
Great.
Yeah, he's got so many better verses than this.
I don't think it's in the top 20 of Kendrick's
You could even
songs.
go the next
No.
3 months. The next 3 months when he does the cipher. The cipher's better than this. You know the cipher with TV.
Yeah, it is.
But this is definitely a moment, and I think we have to accept that, you know, the fact we've been sat here talking about this for nearly 2 hours proves that Kendrick did something that, you know, no one else on this list has ever done, which is made. Well, actually, Drake has as well. I'm talking out of turn here, but you know what I mean. As in, he's made a turning point in the culture. He's made a moment happen that's, you know, relevant and is in the, you know, the Hall of Fame, as it were.
And it has positive changes as well. It's not just beef for no reason, like Sean said.
It was like it was like a friendly competition. It's like a sparring match. Do you know what I mean? It's not him really. He didn't really say anything too offensive. He was like, you know, I appreciate what you guys are doing, but I think I'm the best. I want to be so good that no one's ever heard of you. And to be fair, 80% of this list, that is a fact. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, my thing is, look, like we said at the beginning, at the time it was a massive deal. We were all riding off the hype of Good Kid, Mad City. It was still in heavy rotation. But I think, 10 years later, I mean, look, it's not a song I can't remember, put it this way, I can't remember the last time I listened to this before we listened to it, just before we started recording. I've never actually been that keen on it as a song. I agree with what Kieran said about Sean's verse. Jay Electronica's felt a little bit like, I don't know, almost like...
Jay Electronica's verse is boring now, really and truly.
Yeah. And Kendrick's, like Sam said, I think, I wouldn't put this in like Kendrick's top verses of all time. There's some suspect lines as well. And like that last one's a bit strange. Look, it was a moment, a positive one. It clearly had an impact. Always look back on it with fond memories. But I would actually argue, I think Good Kid, Mad City had a bigger impact than this verse. I think that inspired artists to really start to
up their game,
hone in, and make an album. I mean, look at Drake. He went Take Care, which is a classic in its own way, but he really chewed off the fat with Nothing Was the Same. I really felt
Logic made Under Pressure.
What?
So you weren't me that dropped that. You weren't me that dropped that. You can't blame me.
Come on, man. I've got to back it. There's Logic fans in the room.
Yeah, Logic has a very small fan base, and it consists of 2 people on this call, Kieran and fucking Theo.
I didn't say nothing.
Shout out Logic.
Yeah, shout out Logic.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I think, props to Control. Incredible moment, but Good Kid, Mad City was the one for me.
It's that time in the night where everyone starts getting loopy because what the hell is Theo laughing at? Because he didn't bring up Logic first. Let Sean make his closing statement.
I'm finished. It's all good. Does anyone have anything else to say about Control?
I want to see what the next moment like this will be. I don't think anyone's confident enough to do something like this anymore.
Nah, I can't see anyone doing something like this.
Like we said, there's a gap in the industry at the moment.
Well, who would you even name? That's a good question, actually.
Who would you name?
If you were now one of the biggest rappers out there, yeah, who would you put on your Control list? Give me 3 names. Sean, you have to make yours rhyme.
Mentioned.
So you can go Central C, Storm Z, Ed Sheeran.
Why are you doing that to me?
No.
What are you saying, man?
You're trying to wind up Sean.
No, the only I can't name you a whole list, but the name that springs to mind at the minute is Uzi. I think that's probably someone that's like at the top of that generation that probably going to be included in a list like this. So my contribution is Lil Uzi Vert.
Fair enough. I think I'm keeping it nice and simple. I'm going to go for like the people that are, in my eyes, fantastic rappers, but have never shown me their best. I'm going to be like naming Earl Sweatshirt, probably someone from Griselda, and I'll fuck around and get shot. You know what I mean? Like, that's what will
happen. You mentioned Benny. Benny's going to snatch your chain.
Lucky I ain't got none.
Instagram.
Oh, Lil Baby as well. Like I'm thinking more of like the big names.
You're
like
mentioning people.
Oh,
that's harsh.
Oh,
That's hot.
All right, let's cut that out.
That's staying in there. I was gonna beep it. I'm
Kids
gonna
love-
beep that and my statement about what's his name
Beep me,
about
innit?
Jay Electronica. I'm just gonna
Certain
be one
beeps
long beep.
needed. That beeped.
Whoa,
This is
isn't
gonna
that
be the problem.
anti-Semitic?
I don't know. I don't know. That's why I said sorry if it's offensive. I don't fucking know. I don't know what it means.
Let's rap. Let's rap.
Okay, let's wrap. Okay, I got first.
And
verse.
in the words of Jay Electronica, P.S. The albinos control the military-industrial complex. Hey, this is Sean, and thanks for listening to another episode of The Grey Area. Are you an upcoming artist, critic, journalist, or content creator? Hit us up on our Discord or in our YouTube comments if you want to share new music, take part in an interview, or are interested in collaborating. Links to these can be found in the show notes. Take care.